Greetings and salutations, my little snowflakes. How's your day going today? FinalHarps here. Was Wuthering Waves difficulty a letdown? As the countdown to the release of Wuthering Waves, many CCs who got into the closed beta testing 1 and 2 were talking about how the game is actually challenging, unlike Genshin Impact and Tower of Fantasy. But were they right? Or did the CCs just have skill issues like IGN game reviewers? Let's start with the main story. The main story, which should never be difficult in any gacha game, at least to the point of bashing your head into a wall, sounds better than trying to beat the main story. But there always should be a boss that has a little bit of a challenge or a special mechanic you truly have to figure out to beat said boss. In Wuthering Waves story, there wasn't any real challenging fights that I truly struggled at. If anyone knows how difficult adventuring was on day 1, that's the type of difficulty I look forward to. I did do this fight on day 1 and thought it was actually fun since it actually had a challenge and was difficult. I one-shot it with my team, but others struggled hard and they nerfed the fight to the ground in the end. For me, something has to be really hard for myself to find it actually challenging. Every single gacha game has events to keep you enticed into playing the game and coming back to it. But all the events are easy, which are meant to be easy, something fun, and just to gain premium currency for. We just had a boss rush event and I was hoping it was going to be really hard, but it was really easy. It is okay since it is an event and not a permanent endgame mode, to which all events should be fun, not difficult, because this is just another way to gain more premium currency for a limited amount of time for the event that is out for. The open world enemies can actually kill you if you don't pay attention. There are also level 120 elite enemies that can one-shot you, but you can easily kill them at level 1 using dodge counters and while not getting hit at all. This is probably the only hard content in the open world, but in the open world, it shouldn't be hard because that would be a pain and annoying to explore. Who would really want to explore and log back in if the open world killed you in seconds? This would drive players away from playing the game. If that would start to happen, Hero Games would lose money, lose players, and which could end up having Wuthering Waves shutting down in the long run. Which I honestly hope doesn't happen for a long time, because I really like playing Wuthering Waves. As for Illusionary Realm, it is Wuthering Waves roguelike mode. This game was actually fun and a change of pace from the normal gameplay of the overworld. In my opinion, it isn't hard at all. Just pick good buffs and you end up winning. You also get decent rewards, which includes Astrite, Shell credits, Echoes, and other knickknack items, usually to upgrade your unit or just other things. It's really cool. Now let's talk about the real difficult stuff in Wuthering Waves. The Tower Adversity is one of them, and one of the true endgame contents in Wuthering Waves at the moment, which is challenging. You can't just go in there with one resonator for all the towers of adversity. Each resonator has a total of 10 energy, and each level costs a specific amount of energy for each floor. Each of the 3 towers in Tower Adversity costs a total of 10 energy. So you can't just use one resonator to beat all of the towers in Tower Adversity. You'll need at least 3 fully leveled resonators to beat the tower effectively. You will need a resonator of each element at max level to beat the Tower Adversity with ease, since each tower has an elemental buff that changes during each reset of the Tower Adversity. This is one of the difficult and actually hard endgame content of Wuthering Waves to complete, which resets regularly. Well, what about the hologram fights? The supposed hardest fights in the game? At the moment, I have used Changli to solo Hollow 6 Monkey, Ike's, Crownless, and the Impervin's Heron. I am currently working on soloing Memphis with Changli. Click up here to see the other Changli solo versus Hollow 6 runs. These hologram fights were supposed to be extremely hard to beat, meaning very high difficult boss fight in the game that is extremely rewarding as a self-challenge. In the end, I found them fun, but even at Union level 60, a resonator at level 90 with Max Forte really trivializes these fights. The 2 fights that I was able to beat at Union level 40 with a team of resonators at level 70 was Morning Ike's and Impermanence Heron, which felt really good, but I sadly realized, damn, where is the real challenge? Where's the challenge we were promised with these hologram fights? Don't get me wrong, they are hard, but I feel they're not hard enough. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Now, let's compare difficulties to other gacha games. Let's start with Punishing Grey Raven. If you are a Punishing Grey Raven, you will think the difficulty of Wuthering Waves is a joke. But if you are a Genshin Impact player, Wuthering Waves will overwhelm you. Since Wuthering Waves, you can actually die to regular enemies in the open world. The Hollow 6 fights and Tower Adversity actually take skill instead of being a huge punching bag with an inflated HP pools like Genshin Impact enemies in the Spiral Abyss. So if you're a punching grade Raven or even Elden Ring player, you'll have no problem beating everything in this game. You might find some amusement with the challenge with some parts, but mostly it's not that challenging if you come from those games. If you're a Genshin Impact player, you're gonna struggle and probably cry to your mommy. So, in my opinion, the difficulty of Wuthering Waves truly didn't deliver as I personally hoped it would. Yet, it still is very satisfying since it isn't a pushover game like Genshin Impact. But Genshin Impact is a children's game and directed towards children and little kids. So it is expected to be that easy to cater to children not reading or understanding much of what other than an attack button does. If you made it to the end of the video, please leave your best hate comment in the comment section below. You all are slacking on this. I'm still waiting for some. That's why you haven't seen a couple up. There's no real hate ones. But anyway, I will pick the one I think is best and feature it in my next video. With all that being said, thanks for watching. Don't forget to press my emotional damage buttons, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Who's the caged bird now? Sever! Feathers incinerate. Perish in flames. Be reduced to cinders.
Feel my wrath!
Who's the caged bird now? Break! Crosscut! Sever! Feathers incinerate. Sever! Beckon the divine flames. Who's the caged bird now? The blood my blade yearns.
Bask in the sunlight.
Beckon the divine flames. Sever. Be reduced to cinders.
Feel my wrath!